Hi everybody, Chris Stubbs from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio, and today we're talking about being able to reset your posture after a long, hard day with 3 easy steps. So whether you sit in an office all day staring at a computer, or you're a stay-at-home mom and maybe scrolling, I don't know, on Facebook too much, you end up typically in this forward head position with the shoulders rounded, the back rounded. Typically by the end of a day like that, you've got some pains coming up from the neck, you might have some headaches going on, some shoulder, upper back issues, and maybe even some lower back pain. So I wanted to address those 3 things today, give you 3 different, hate to call them all exercises because a couple of them are just kind of stretches, but things to do after a long day to kind of reset things, get everything back in order so that you can feel great and feel more energy the next day, because when we do that day after day, it just compounds on itself. And while we get rest, we may not be sleeping in the best position, which means that our spine may not have the opportunity to align itself correctly. And therefore it just ends up making it worse and worse and worse. So there's a few things that you can do on that end too, but today we're just going to talk about these 3 to reset your posture. So number 1 is to reopen through the chest. So again, if we're sitting at a desk or looking over small children or doing whatever we do, I'm a homeschool mom, maybe we're doing homework too much, or maybe you're a teacher grading over people's shoulders all the time, grading papers and things, we typically end up with this rounded position, and trust me, later on you don't want to freeze there. So we want to really open it up, we want to pull it back. And we're going to do that by stretching out the chest. So we don't realize a lot of times is that as we sit like that, it may not feel too bad today, it may not feel too bad next week, maybe even a year from now, but things are going to start to shorten. So those muscles in there in your chest start to shorten and pull, and so therefore we end up rounding even more than just our daily habits. So how do we fix this? Well, we start out with a doorway, and we're going to place our elbow about shoulder height here and our hand on the outside of the doorway. We're just going to take 1 step forward, and we're going to keep our shoulders square to the wall in front of us as we lean in. So we're not trying to twist or twist towards it or away. We just want to lean forward, feel that stretch come across the chest, feel the shoulder open. Now you can kind of play with this because this may not be the optimal place for you. You may not feel as good of a stretch as you could somewhere else. So maybe lower your elbow down a few inches, keep pressing. Hold it for a few seconds, then maybe raise it up. Find that best place for you where you feel like you get some relief, and then do the same thing on the other side. So by doing that, again, we're holding about 30 to 45 seconds in order to fully release that muscle. It takes a full 30 seconds for the responses to happen within our muscle to say, okay, relax. And so we can hold that about 30 to 45 seconds with that elbow in the door frame, then kind of slide it up, slide it down, find your best place and hold it another 30 or 45 seconds. Just something to kind of feel that stretch, feel it open. Now, key number 2, outside of the exercises, is when we're aware of it or making ourselves aware of it throughout the day, really trying to not just pull our shoulders back in this rounded forward position, but trying to roll them back, trying to lift up, open out so that you feel your shoulder blades really squeeze together behind you. And the more often that you can stand and sit this way, the more that it stretches those muscles naturally into the right position. It helps to tighten the upper back postural muscles to be able to hold you more upright and in a better position, which is going to help increase your energy level and decrease your fatigue during the day, believe it or not. Whenever our body is not stacked one on top of the other the way that it's supposed to be, we typically experience more fatigue because our body's trying to work so much harder just to hold us up, let alone to move and do these things that we want it to do. Where whenever we have better posture, we can actually start to improve that situation quite drastically. All right, number 2 is our low back. So we hit that upper back through the chest. We're going to start to pull open, but then our low back starts to kind of give us grief sometimes. And maybe it's the chair that we're sitting in, maybe it's how we're standing. A lot of women especially typically stand with one hip out, and we can get some pressure coming down those hips. So one of the best resets that we can do, just kind of starting out, is to grab that same doorway and step back to where we've got a flat back. We've got something to support us so we're not a long lever just hanging out here in the air, but we can just absolutely let that back relax, let your abs relax, let everything go, and you can hold here, again, about 30 to 45 seconds. The bonus, you're getting a hamstring stretch at the same time. Sometimes you can have extra tension happening through the back because of tight hamstrings, but sometimes tight hamstrings happen because of our back. There's a lot of different ways that the body works together, but it's all the chain reaction, so we just have to find the area that works for us. So if your low back's giving you grief, that's a great one. Also works really well if you are happening to be pregnant and having some low back issues. That one's a great one to release. Or if you've gained some excess weight that you've been carrying, kind of the same idea as pregnancy, where it's come on over the last year or so, and you just got this excess weight that constantly holds your back in a bad position. Doing that doorway stretch can really help a lot. All right, this last one I'm going to use a ball for. If you don't have a ball at home, use a
pillow, use a rolled up towel, any of that kind of stuff. Something soft and squishy will work just fine. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this little mini ball here, and we're gonna, again, stand in the doorway. See, we try to keep it all in one spot so it doesn't make it hard for you. And we're gonna press that ball right back behind our head. It's coming right about at the base of your skull here, so it's not up too high. And we're just gonna stand comfortably here. Now all we wanna do, and it doesn't matter where your hips are at, if they're touching the doorway or if they're away, but the goal is to press your head straight back. So I don't want your whole body bouncing back this way, but rather if you attach your hips to the door, maybe that'll help with the biofeedback, you're just gonna press straight back. So you're not looking up, just straight back. So it's almost like you're pulling your chin to your chest, you're lengthening up your neck, and as you're pressing back, it's helping to strengthen some of those postural muscles, but it's also helping to pull you out of that forehead position so we start to bring ourselves back into alignment here. So if you are having some issues, pains, or discomforts after a long day, try those 3 out. They may be the start to some really great things. If you're having some other pains or issues, it's where we'd love to talk with you more and see if we could be of help to you. Sometimes we can throw just a few little exercises in or stretches in and really make all the difference. So feel free to give us a call, 806-322-3188. We'd love to help you out, get you in for a free consultation and just see if we're the right fit for you. Remember that, the more that we talk about our posture, the more core-centric that we can be, keeping in mind that that's not just your belly, it's your whole torso, right? So those 3 that we just did are all core-centric. The more core-centric that we can be, the better your posture is going to be, the less aches and pains you're going to have, the less fatigue you're going to have. Things are going to start to feel great. I hope that you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.